there is part of me and a part of you that wants to embrace greater things for itself, wants to express more of who we are, and wants to have a greater impact on our life and not feel like they're a burden to themselves, a burden. And there was many times I felt like I was a burden to myself. And that was hard to release and let go, because that kind of thinking I found out was keeping me way down here. And I didn't want to be down here. I wanted something more. I wanted to experience more of life. And my desire was I want to experience more of who I am, more of who God is in me. If God is an expression of me, then I want to open the doors and let all that out. Because every moment can be a great, joyous moment if I would let it be. I'm in charge of that. I am in charge of how I'm going to live this day. Am I going to get into bad thinking, or am I going to do something for myself that's going to help me to be a better person and to be happier and happier and joyful? We are joyful beings. We have to open the door to that joy. One of the experiences that I had long ago, and I was doing these 7 steps, was probably my most difficult Christmas. And my husband on Christmas Eve left me for another woman with 4 children, and Christmas morning to face. Shocked. I didn't know what to do. I didn't even know how to feel about that. I didn't know how to experience it. I was in such shock that what do I do with my life? He was my life. He was my whole life. Now all of a sudden, my whole life had split away. I had no life. I had 4 little children to take care of. Now what do I do? How do I go about, how can this be something that I can make him think of is good? How can I bring it to another level so I could even be able to accept it? And what I did was, I went to bed that night after he left, knowing that I was going to be there with my 4 daughters the next morning, and his mother and father were already on their way to our house for Christmas morning. So believe me, I had a lot of things on my plate. And so I thought, okay, I have to do something with this. And I already knew the 7 steps. And so I thought, okay, I woke up early in the morning, probably 2:30, 3 o'clock, and I started journaling and I could not tell you the truth. I couldn't go to the good times. I couldn't even think of the good times. I couldn't even measure them a tiny bit because I had to go to my disappointments and difficulties right then. And you might find working these steps in other opportunities that you might have to use this formula. You may have to go to something like that, or an unforgiveness, or one of those kind of steps, in order to get free enough to even look at the good times. So I had to go there. I wrote and wrote and wrote. And I said, what good is going to happen here? What good? How am I was born and raised to be a mother. I was born and raised to take care of children and bake cookies and make clothes and do all this thing, all this stuff. And I'm 39 years old at that point. Now, what do I do with my life? I had worked for 18 years. I had raised children. And I said, God, I have to say thank you, God. Boy, I don't mean it very much. I don't like that thought of that at all. But I'm going to try it. Thank you, God. Oh, thank you, God. Just thank you, God, get me through this day. Do something to help me through this day. And so what happened was, as I was journaling, I wrote in my journal, This is the first day of a wonderful new life. I wrote that in the journal. This is the day for a wonderful new life. And I thought, thank you, God. And this is my new day. This is my new life. And I'm going to grab it and say, thank you, God. I will make this the best year in my life. Now, I will tell you, that was the beginning of change. That's what happened. The wonderful thing that happened through that process was I began to find Jane. I began to find that I was strong and independent and that I could raise these 4 little girls and I could give them hope and give them strength as I was working through the process of allowing that part of me to get strong. Because I'd always been the one, the pleaser, the one that takes care of. And I wasn't taking care of me. I wasn't taking care of me. I was taking care of everybody else but not me. And all of a sudden, I have to get strong. I have to come into a new state of being. And that was the best Christmas I ever had. It truly was. Because I can say to you now that I wouldn't be standing here and doing the things I'm doing, and being able to say what I'm saying to you if I hadn't taken that huge spiritual step within myself to be my own best friend and to support myself in whatever I had to do.